Welcome back, guys. I'm back here at the cabin. Just got to check on a few things. Lots planned for this weekend. Just arriving at the cabin, and it's May, and yeah, I just arrived in a bit of a blizzard. Take a look down here, all the spring plants, the trillium, covered in snow. Let's take a look at my garden. Here's my spring garden, my poor tulips. And then look over here. Every year I bring, I put in some hyacinth, and take a look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I put them out so that the hummingbirds, when they come back, they have something to drink on, nectar. It's covered in snow. Well, I've never seen snow so late in the season here. It's Royce's first trip to the cabin, so I'm going to get him out and let him sniff and explore. There he is, exploring. Just going to check everything out. Hi. He's a little bit unsure, obviously following me like Velcro. He's happy. He's had a few hours of car ride here. Yeah. Hey?
You're going to love it here, boy.
Yeah.
Hey?
There he goes. He's going to follow us like Velcro. Has no idea where he is. Whoop, stretching. He slept most of the way. Oh, he's got to round me up. Typical herding dog. Come on. Let's go check it out. Let's go see. Little tail's going. It's the first time he's seen snow. He was born in February. But it's the first time he's been actually outside in snow. He's born in the south, so snow is long gone. You can have a good sniff. Eh? Well, I'm going to get settled in. Plans for the weekend, I've got a few trees to plant, about 40 trees. And I know it's not ideal to be here at the cabin, but I want to assure you that I can go door to door without stopping anywhere for gas or groceries. We have all of our own stuff here. Because of course COVID is always a concern in really remote areas. You don't want to drag stuff here, but definitely door to door in our isolated little car, so no risk to anybody else. Anyway, so doing the whole planting the tree thing this weekend, and introducing the dog to the cabin, and just relaxing. You know, it's been a super stressful time. I don't know how you guys are faring, but I definitely feel the stress of the whole COVID situation. So it's nice to be back in the forest again. Property, I also want to check to make sure there's no vandalism. Of course, you know, with people not at their camps and cabins and cottages, there's high risk for crime. So just checking in on everything, and everything seems to be a-okay so far. Well, he's about 18.5 pounds now. Oh, hi. Oh, my goodness. He's about 18.5 pounds. He's growing like a weed, and he's not fat either. He's got a little waistline and everything. So he's going to be about 100 pounds. So he's doing really well, actually. Getting used to everything, just introducing him to the land here. Hey, there's the pine forest, buddy. Yeah, you can get to play. So got to keep him nearby. A lot of predators in the area, and he's just a baby, right? So things could come whipping out of the bush after him. Eagles, you know. So as we get set up here, I got to kind of keep him tethered. And I will, as well, as we're going through the forest and stuff. I'm going to introduce him to the big world. This is going to be his place for some time. Got to show him the property he's going to be guarding. He's already quite protective. It's kind of cute, but I have to kind of rein that in a bit and just make sure he's got confidence, but just doesn't make any bad decisions as he turns into an older dog. But he definitely is protective. Had to hang out his little crate stuff there, a little pee. I didn't get him out of the car fast enough. He seems to be able to hold his pee now for about 3 hours or so. But I think he just sort of woke up and had to pee. Well, it's nippy out today. It's, I don't know, -2 or something like that. Feels like March out here, honestly. I've never felt it this cold in May before. Anyway, so I'm going to finish up setting up camp. It takes a bit of time to do that, and I'll catch you guys later. I don't think there's enough coffee in the world for this morning. We had a late night last night with the dog. I went to bed around 11, and he woke me up around 1, and again at 6 o'clock. So I don't know, I don't do so well with all the sleep interruptions these days, but thankfully these times are short-lived. And I guess there are times I probably should enjoy, because he's not going to stay little for very long. I'll just show you his setup here at the cabin. Right now he's insistent on taking my sock off. But that's where he sleeps at night. He's got a crate there, and that's the way to do it. You know, it feels like a little den, a little safe zone for them. Put my shoes up and out of his way because he wants to chew on those. Lots of good stuff here. He's going to be teething really soon, so that's why he's getting extra bitey. So we're working on our bite inhibition. I've had to, just while we're in the cabin here, I've had to put him on this little tie out here because he wants to get over to the litter box and he wants to eat litter. The food he was on when he was a puppy is something called Billjack. I guess you guys get that in the States. It has the exact same shape of the kibble as the extrusion. Must be the same extrusion setup as the litter that I use for my cat. So anyways, I hear him crunching away and I don't know what he's doing. And sure enough, he's found some litter and he grabs like a mouthful of it and kind of takes it to his spot and tries to work away at it. So we had to put a stop to that and put a leash on him. So anyways, he loves being outside. He definitely knows the cabin is his home zone and he will kind of sort of remain within, I'd say, about 25 feet of it. If I wander off, he's kind of has his hard line as to where he stops. That's okay. It's his first time here, so he's got to figure everything out. So I'm just going to finish my breakfast today, and then I'll kind of piddle around the woods and work on some stuff. I'm pretty low energy, to be honest with you. I just might ease into my morning. And of course, the cat is here, supervising what's going on. He loves the cabin, so he got right in the carrier when we went to drive here, and Royce had no idea, so he's a little bit nervous in the car. But I think he's going to like cabin life. Pretty soon he'll know what the word cabin means, and I think he's going to get really hyper when we drive here. Want to show you our latest trick. Watch this. High five. Yeah. He learned that in literally a day. He loves doing it. Can even get my neighbor's 4-year-old son to do it. He just says high five and then like holds his paw up and it's like two little kids high-fiving. It's the sweetest thing ever. Just out this morning getting the chainsaw revved up to do a little bit of trail cleaning and stuff like that. So I've got to get Royce used to the sounds of the cabin. So we're staying a distance away so he can hear what a chainsaw sounds and smells like. Gets a bit nervous, but he's not nervous enough that he won't chew on a stick or play a little bit. So that's a good sign. Usually if the dog is super nervous, they won't even take a treat or they're just cowering and stuff. So he's not doing that. He's keeping a safe distance. And we're just going to kind of have him keep listening to the chainsaw. So we're just walking around now trying to figure out where to put these trees. I've got jack pine and maple. And I want to tell you something really cool happened this morning. I was out taking Royce for his second bathroom break of the day. And I noticed he sat down, he started looking at the sky and staring and just tracking something. Guess what he saw? He saw the bald eagle. So a mature bald eagle flew over us, just skimming the tops of the tree. So probably about 45 feet up in the air. I could see the eagle's eyeballs. Like it was so crystal clear. Basically flew directly over us with Royce. What a magical moment. What a gift to say hello to the eagle. So I was telling you guys before, I got to be careful, got to keep him on a leash because there are predators around here. So he was leashed up. He did the good thing. He sat down and he looked up. It's just fascinating to watch him just sort of track the eagle as the eagle flew over the treetops. What an awesome experience. I wish I had my camera on me. It was literally a split-second event as the eagle swooped in. Just awesome. Planted a bunch of lilacs a while ago here, and as you can see, they're doing well. They have beautiful purple blooms here. It's exciting. I might make some more lilac honey. Maybe I'll make some kind of a soda with lilac. How cool would that be? So yeah, this one is quite a large shrub now. Got another one over here, but I'm a little bit worried. It's not looking so hot. We'll have to see what happens there. Well, no need to panic. There's some new growth right there. So, oh yeah, it's right here. It's just probably a different variety, so it's going to mature a bit later. So I planted a daffodil patch some time ago here at the property, and it looks like it's doing really well. I think it's actually spread a whole bunch, and you can see it kind of goes back that way. Pretty cold for them though. Doing pretty good. I'm just allowing him to establish little scent trails from his little stinky feet so he knows exactly how to get up to the cabin. So here we're coming up on the maples I planted last year where you see the flags. So I might put more in there, I might put it elsewhere. We'll have to decide. Just gonna head out now and check on the trail cam. You guys know I get super pumped every year to check the camera to see if the moose came through. So they usually come through end of April, beginning of May. So I'm really excited. I think we're gonna see a moose. Let's go check it out. Alrighty, let's take a look. We've got two of these guys set up right now. There we go, waking it up. So there's a bunch of stuff of me, but if I go back far enough, It's probably beginning of April. I'll show you. Oh, there it is. So there it is. There's the moose. Moose on the loose. That's awesome. Well, that was pretty exciting seeing that moose on there. I didn't see one last year, and now they're back. So pretty exciting. Can't wait to, maybe I'll see one in the spring, a little bit later spring. Sometimes we have them chewing on the trees near the field. Just out on a little bit of a stroll here. He's doing great, exploring, kind of keeping him out of stagnant water. And, you know, if we find any coyote poop or wolf poop, we take him away from it. I don't need him near that kind of stuff, but he's getting used to life, what bush life is going to be like. It's a good thing. He's not showing any sign of being timid. He's going up these little hills, not scared at all. So far in the woods, he's doing really well. It's on our little early afternoon hike here. Yeah. Just kind of taking him on some safe areas. Just wanted to get used to the different textures of the forest floor and seeing logs and sticks and twigs and all that good stuff, and teaching him to leave it and to follow me on leash. So he's got all kinds of things stuck to his fur. He's like a little Velcro dog. He ends up with leaves and burrs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna have to go home and have a little brush after. Just sitting down by the water here, keeping him back a bit because there's otter, you know, toilets and stuff up here. I don't want him to get worms or anything. So anyway, we're just relaxing. Pretty soon we'll be ready to go take him in the canoe and maybe go do a little fishing. But the water's too cold, and I don't know, he's not used to it, so I don't want him to go in and fall out and then have to go get him. So that'll happen another day. There, I found a solution. I've got him on a chair off the ground. This is a lot of wildlife coming in and out, so I don't want him hanging out too much right here. I mean, I know there's a lot of wildlife in the woods, but this is a high traffic area. It's like an otter toilet, so just leaving him up on the chair just to look out at the bay. Isn't that lovely? The wind is really raw today. It's off and on snowing. In the center of your screen there's some kind of duck. I don't know if it's a bufflehead or what it is, but the migratory birds are coming back. So here he's checking a log. He's learning all about coordination and exploring different textures. So this is awesome. He's doing well. Heading back to the cabin now. Boy, oh boy, is it ever snowing. Whew. Thankfully, he's a rugged little guy. Keep on checking on him, make sure he's not too cold. Not shivering or anything. Exploring everything. Yeah, we cut that log down. All right, let's head back. A good exploration. It's pretty good. He follows along and he sort of checks in, see where you are. Occasionally I have to tell him to leave stuff alone. He likes those little tiny pine cones. His favorite, and they fit in his mouth. So pretty when he walks, it's so funny. They have such a characteristic gait, this dog. Take a look at my lunch now, back at the cabin. I've got Mr. Noodles, a kimchi flavor. Well, not Mr. Noodles, it's a Rooster brand. And some salad with some freshly harvested wild leek. And a couple of beets. Looks yummy. Over here, Mr. Man's passed out after his big walk there. I had to take some pine sap out of his feet, and a cool tip for you guys with bush dogs that get pine sap on their feet, just use a little bit of oil. So coconut oil. I mean, I just use regular vegetable oil on a wipe, and it came out like a dream. So another thing I gotta do is the hummingbirds get here really soon, so I'm just making my hummingbird nectar here. It's got some colorless sugar solution. So I'll mix that up and I'll put that outside. There's one of my feeders. It's all set up. It's just in front of the cabin right here, in front of my window. The male hummingbirds come back soon, very soon, probably the next 3 weeks. I'll have to check my notes. I also have a lovely window feeder as well. There's my window feeders. So there's the hummingbird feeder on the first window, and the second one is just my little chickadee feeder. And the little dots on my window, those are to prevent bird collisions to the window, and they work very, very well. There's a spot where I feed the birds in the winter time. You guys remember that, the platform feeder? Well, that's down because there are bears in the area now. So I have to be really careful. So those feeders come down for the season. So here are the trees. This is my order this year. 20 hard maple, 10 jack pine, and 20 sweet gale, which is called Miraca Gale. I showed you that plant in my summer camping video when I was hammock camping. I planted these at a different location, so they're not here at the cabin, but I've got jack pine and the hard maple. So that's what the hard maple looks like. It's beautiful, actually. Really nice size to it. All right, so this is what it looks like. The 20 maple and the 10 jack pine. This is what bare root stock looks like. I always put in bare root stock. It's really easy. You just put in a wedge with your shovel and pop one of the little trees in there. So really nice root mass there and all nice and buddy. So that's good. I just hope that those little tent caterpillars don't get at them again. My hard maple from last year got really attacked, and that does a lot of damage to them, especially when they're pretty young. You know, they need all those leaves for photosynthesis to put some energy into the root system. So yeah, I'll have to keep a close eye this year. These are super easy to put in. I just make a wedge with my shovel. And yeah, you can see, just pop the shovel in there, pull it forward, and pop one of these guys in. I've done a lot of videos on how to plant these. So it's not the purpose of showing you this today, but there we go. Then we just kind of stomp it down. Planting the jack pine in this area here right by the cabin, just another windbreak. Last year I had issues with the sawfly larvae. So for example, this one right here got all chewed up and is dead. So I just put in this new little guy right here. All right, I got them all in. Everywhere you see a little flag, there is a jack pine. So lots of good work. Now I got to put in those maple. Well, and that does it for the maple. So I've got a bunch of maple pretty close to the cabin here now, just in the field with the pine and some of the birch as well. So just, again, you see those little flags, this is where I pop the maple in. While I'm working with the maple here, I want to point out something really important. So when you're working with bare root stock, you never want to get these roots dried out. It's a super windy day, so I've wet these down a little bit. I've kept them in the bag that they came in, so either like a plastic, or you can just use like a thick yard waste bag or something, just to keep them out of the wind and work quickly to get them in the ground. So as I was putting those trees in, you saw that clip there? That's a vulture that was flying over the field. So much like the eagle that we saw, the vulture likes to come up just over this field too, over the tree line. So birds of prey are doing really well this year. It's exciting. So another project here at the cabin is to cut up some maple. So take a look at this board. So this fell down, this tree, and being sawed up into boards. Gorgeous piece of wood. Let's go and take a look at the board that's out of this log. And if all that chainsawing you've heard in the video so far today, this is what happened. This is a beautiful maple board and a beam. So this has got to dry out. Probably going to dry this out maybe in the forest or something. In the field, it's a bit too sunny. It might dry too quickly and warp, at least the board part. But look at that. Isn't that cool? That's just from a fallen maple. The maple just fell this spring. And was chainsawed all up into these beautiful, usable pieces. It's been a busy day and time for some supper. I'm just making some noodles and some pasta sauce here. So, it smells so good. Everything smells so good when it's cold outside. I'll warm up with some nice pasta. Well, that's what dinner looks like. Pasta, and I got some salad with some wild leeks again. Yum, yum. All in all, a successful day here at the cabin, getting those trees planted and letting Royce explore the forest. So I'm just going to settle in for the night, maybe listen to a few podcasts, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Well, it's another morning and another cold one at that. Today I've got on my little my insulated red jacket because boy, it's raw. It's about 4 degrees Celsius this morning, but there's a really strong wind out of the north again. It's about 20 kilometers an hour. So just sitting out here enjoying the sun. It's going to be a gorgeous day. Royce and I are playing a little bit of frisbee to tucker him out this morning. Things I have to do today, well, I want to check on the lawnmower, the ride-on tractor lawnmower, just to make sure it actually runs for the season, because I will be making trails with that throughout the field and our laneway here. So I got to work on that. I'm just going to be kind of moving a few little plants around the yard here, and just enjoying the rest of the day, because it is a beautiful one. I look back at my notes from about a year ago, and you know, it was 15 to 18 degrees and sunny, and there was mushrooms out and the birds were singing, and it's a little bit different this year, a little bit cooler. Some snow on the ground again this morning. There's some flurries when I took them out. So, you know, every year's a bit different, and I'm glad I have my journal to remind me of what it was like. So what I'm going to do later on this morning is head up to the Maple Ridge. I want to look for some wild leek. Wild leek love deciduous forests with rich organic soil and north-facing slopes. So it's a perfect spot to go look for some. Woo! Success! That's working really great. Don't need to cut the grass right now, but I'm glad it's running really well. I, of course, fogged the engine in the fall and started up just fine. So really excited. It's really helpful to have that to do the lane and do the pass through the field. I take Royce to check out the lawn tractor. Again, he's got it used to all the sounds and smells of the cabin. Hi, buddy. Look at, what's this? What's this? What's this? Oh, is it the lawn tractor? Is that the lawn tractor? Oh, what's that? Hey? What on earth? Well, I think that went well overall. Again, I don't have the PTO on, so there's no blade turning or anything like that. I just want to get him used to the noise, the vibration, the smell of the gas. And he did well. He ran behind me for a while, and then I picked him up and put him on my lap, and he went for a little tractor ride. So he likes it a lot so far. I don't have any plans to have him near me when I'm actually mowing the grass, because I think it's pretty dangerous, but I just need him to get used to the noises and the sounds at kind of a very close range. So I think things went well. Oh, there's the fire pit. I'm going to have to do some maintenance on that, but right now we have a fire ban across all of Ontario due to the COVID virus, so I won't be able to burn any wood. So we're just waiting eagerly for that ban to be lifted and for things to improve. So we're going for a little hike. Got him tied to me. I got a waist leash. Got my foraging basket. I was hoping he would carry it, but not so much. So we're headed off to go for some wild leeks. Just doing a little bit of trail maintenance. It's getting pretty used to the sounds of the woods. Chopping, chainsaw. It's pretty good. He's always really curious. If he's a little nervous, he just sort of stays his distance. Just checking the log out. Whoop. Let's get a nice collar here. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. You got it. Oh, good boy. Wow, you're doing a log all by yourself. That's awesome. Good boy. Make sure I have him by the collar so he doesn't fall. Okay. Great. All right, I'm going to lift you down. Well, I made it to the Maple Ridge here. Just checking now for some wild edibles, and I found some. Trout lily leaf. Really refreshing on the hike. Also, there's some trillium leaves. They are edible for humans as well, raw or cooked. But I'll leave them because they're our provincial flower, and we'll just leave them for the deer. Beautiful ridge right here. Royce is chewing on some trees here. He's enjoying a little trail snack. He's a real trooper. Been taking our time, and I have to lift him over some big logs. But he's actually trying a few things himself, which is exciting. So I think he's really going to love doing this. Pretty soon he'll know what the word cabin means and get really pumped up. No such luck with the wild leek, but lots of trout lily that I've been snacking on. Just having a little rest here, having some water, and enjoying the peacefulness of the maple forest in the spring. Right behind me there's a ruffed grouse drumming. Well, somebody's out for their little early morning nap. Just having a snack, and he's just resting for the trip back home. And I'm not seeing any mushrooms either. It's too early. We need a bit more moisture and a bit more heat. Especially for morels, the soil has to get a bit warmer. This time last year there's a lot of false morels around, but there's really none to be found, so the ground is a bit cool for this season. I'm also looking for some spring oyster mushrooms, and well, usually I find aspen oysters around here, And I'm also looking for a dryad saddle, but nothing yet. Give it a couple more weeks. Way back, here's some old dryad saddle from last year. They're really dehydrated, but they grow off of hardwood. Usually here at the cabin it's hardwood. And there we go. So there's a spot where they're going to come back this year, but again, it's too early. But that was a neat find, some dryad saddle. So disregard what I just said earlier. There we go. There is a false morel. So this is a Gyromitra species of mushroom. Well, it looks like the top's already been cut off of it. Probably hit it with my boot or something. There you go. So this is not a true morel. This is not something I would eat. Some people, there are some species of this mushroom that people do eat. I just wouldn't risk it. There's a lot of toxicity there, but the mushrooms are out. So usually I see the false morels first, and then I'll see some regular true morels later, like the Morchella species. So there we go. Gyromitra esculenta, the false morel. And briefly, just to show you what the inside looks like, there's a lot of nooks and crannies and chambers. This is not like the Morchella species, which is sort of continuous with the stem. It's like a sort of a hollow tube-shaped mushroom. There's not a lot of these little chambers in there. So this is another clue that this is a false lookalike. This is a false morel. Well, we made it back. We made it back to the cabin, one piece. Carried him a little bit of the way, and the environment got a little less complex. He was comfortable to walk back. Once he scented the trail on the way back, he was super confident to rush back to the cabin. So that's a really good sign. He already knows his environment and knows how to get back. Well, we didn't come back with too many things here, except some burrs. Let's take a look. Oh no, gotta comb those out. It's the kind of fur he has. Lots of big Velcro. Well, we're just back enjoying a little bit of lunch. And we had a great time here at the cabin, and I hope you enjoyed the little adventure here today too. Well, hope you have a wonderful week. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Take care.